Good afternoon. This is KTN News Desk on the 28th day of October. Just about a few days to wrap up this month. My name is Boni Tunya, and news is brought to you as it happens.
And my name is Edith Kimani. Let's get straight to it and show you what we've prepared for you this afternoon. Tallow oil row, local community protests over apparent exclusion.
Prosecution witness 6 takes the stage as Ruto takes his leave of absence.
And also, CNG Garmin deal motor dealer partners with Garmin for distribution of satellite services. Local leaders from Turkana have supported the demonstrations by residents against Sterlo Oil Company over the alleged exclusion of the local community in its exploration project.
The oil company yesterday confirmed the suspension of operators across 2 oil blocks, maintaining that its priority at the moment was to ensure the safety and security of its staff.
Turkana Women County Representative Joyce Emanikor says that the area residents should be the major beneficiaries and should be given priority when the company is hiring.
Now, she further said that the subcontracting of small companies by Tallow Oil has also fueled the demonstrations.
We, as the leadership of Turkana County, had reached agreements with Tallow Oil earlier, like 2 months ago, that the biggest chunk of opportunities in terms of jobs, in terms of tenders, contracts, should go to the locals, unless where it is completely impossible. For instance, if you needed some technical people, some technical skills that may not be found in the county, that would be understandable if they came from outside. But it looks like that was not taken. I mean, Tallow did not follow the agreement we had. Most people came from outside, the people working in the Tallow camps. And this is what the Turkana community is protesting about.
Elsewhere, the Senate's Ad Hoc Committee on Natural Resources says investors should not be intimidated by the upcoming bill on sharing royalties resulting from natural resources. The members of the committee have confirmed that a draft bill will be ready in 2 weeks' time. They were speaking during a tour of Mrima Hill in Lunga Lunga, that's in Kwale County, where they were on a fact-finding tour. Members of the committee said they are focused on getting more views to strengthen the bill and also meet with the Cortec Mining Company, Kenya, that wants to mine niobium and rare earths in the area. Now, the current act proposing a 3% royalty to go to the national government, while 5% of it to the community, has been termed by communities living in mining areas as insufficient.
We are talking about leaving something behind which can uplift the community, which can uplift the standard of living of the community.
Maybe a suggestion of relooking at the laws on management of waste, which I think is going to be a big product. Already we have 0.7% radiation rate here.
From the perspective of the community, what are they saying? From the perspective of the leaders, and in all the counties that we're going to, we're talking to the county officials, we're talking to the county leaders, we're talking to the county executives, especially those connected to natural resources, we're talking to members of county assemblies, we're talking to the governors themselves, we're talking to the investors. We want this to be a participatory process.
Members of county assemblies will have to go through a job re-evaluation before they can have their salaries increased. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission says that the MCAs have already had their allowances hiked to a gross of 185,200 shillings from 79,000. The highest earning MCA is now taking home 217,000 shillings. SRC chairperson Sarah Serem, however, says after holding consultations with the MCAs, it was agreed that any review of salary for county officers will be pegged on a job re-evaluation. Serem has urged the MCAs to get back to work, arguing that success to devolution cannot be measured by how much money is in the pockets of the leaders.
We are saying, let's give them the benefit of doubt. Are there things perhaps at the point of interview that we may not have considered because they were not in position. We can move out to discover that. Chances are that we considered everything. Chances are that there are a few details that perhaps we left out because they were not in occupation then. And that is the point where we are in.
Let's now go to the Hague-based court. In the trial against Deputy President William Ruto will for the first time continue in his absence. This after the trial chamber 5A judges granted him limited excusal from hearings to allow President Uhuru Kenyatta attend a regional meeting in Rwanda. Ruto returned to Kenya on Saturday, where he will be in the country until Wednesday. He resumes his trial hearing on Thursday, just a day before his trial breaks on Friday. Prosecution has for today lined up 6th prosecution witness, who is expected to be the first witness to directly link the accused to the 2007-2008 post-election violence. Joshua Arap Sang, the co-accused in the case, will be present in court. Back home, 3 people died and 15 others injured when a lorry overturned at Matoatoa Bridge along the Isiolo-Garbatula Road late last night. Those who were injured were rushed to the Isiolo level 5 hospital and also are in present condition.
A 14-year-old boy has been detained in a toilet at the Isiolo Level 4 hospital for the last 5 days. While narrating the ordeal to journalists, Francis Kiplagat said last week Tuesday a female guard at the hospital apparently locked him in a toilet where he has been detained since then to prevent him from escaping, having not paid the bills. Reports indicate Francis has been admitted at the hospital after he suffered from food poisoning. It is after he was treated that his mother allegedly abandoned him at the hospital due to lack of funds to settle the outstanding bills. While condemning the incident, Isiolo Deputy County Commissioner David Kipkemei told the press that investigations are currently ongoing and any hospital staff found culpable will be prosecuted. Let's talk to matters of education, and Education Principal Secretary Kipsang Belio has warned public schools against irregular increment of school fees. Belio, who spoke at St. Patrick's Iten High School, said some school heads have developed a habit of imposing unnecessary payments, thus giving parents a hard time keeping their children in school. He said the government will not tolerate such irregularities, and whoever will be found having contravened that particular law, action will be taken against him.
And they're saying, this school has been promoted to be a national school. The other schools which have been promoted to be national schools, let us progressively grow into the fees that are paid in national schools. Let's not increase these fees. And let the fees be within the fees policy of government. Let it be within the guidelines. And always let us not increase these fees without following the necessary procedure.
Police in Madeira are holding a 22-year-old woman and a man who allegedly falsified her kidnapping with intentions to extort money from her husband. The suspects were arrested by police officers who tracked their mobile phones to an estate in the Roto area, that's in Kiambu County. It is alleged that the suspects had contacted the lady's husband demanding that he send 500,000 shillings to secure her release. The husband had already sent 10,000 shillings and had promised the captors that he will send more to them in order to secure the release of his wife. Police then tracked the mobile cash transfer transaction to a house where they found the woman comfortably doing house chores at the alleged kidnapper's house.
Sina jambo lolote tulikuwa tumekosana naye kwa sababu hata mimi nilikuwa nimemwashia pesa ya kuja hapa town na kulipa deposit ya hiyo nguo na kila kitu.
We were able to catch up with this lady with her boyfriend in Dogoto yesterday evening. And as we speak right now, they are in custody, pending to appear in court for various offenses, including extortion and misuse of communication gadget and others.
She's comfortable.
She was comfortably doing chores. Well, we take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we've got more news for you, including business and sports.
Right, and also you do remember that the website you should be looking at this moment, it's standardmedia.co.ke, where we have the story of President Uhuru Kenyatta and his tour to Rwanda regarding an ICT meeting.
Right, Tunya, before we get to the sports, let's have a look at education and disability, where children living with disabilities are seeking to have their special needs at attaining education met by education institutions. Speaking at the National Conference for Teachers, or rather for Children with Disabilities, which kicked off today, representatives of children with disabilities highlighted the plight they go through, including inaccessibility of school buildings, uninclusive curricula, and lack of professional teachers. Cabinet Secretary for Education, Jacob Kaimenyi, stated that his ministry will work together with stakeholders to ensure inclusive education is accessed by these children. He has also urged parents of disabled children to avail them for education.
We are just requesting Kenyan parents, wherever you are, if you have a child with a disability, remember our schools are supposed to be to provide inclusive education. Take your children to school. If you don't take them to school, I've said all of us, let us hold them to account. Because when they don't take our children to school, all of us directly or indirectly suffer. Because we talked about 4 million children in this country with disability. So we are saying 4 million children, if a big chunk of those children is not accessing education, then when we talk about free and compulsory education, people will take us to task. They will be telling us that education, even though it is free and compulsory, these children with disability are not accessing it the way they should. And we shall do whatever is humanly possible to move this forward.
23 cows were recovered following a recent cattle rustling attack that led to the theft of 500 livestock and the killing of 2 people at Suyan in Baragoi. 3 people were arrested, among them a Kenya police reservist and 2 businessmen from Isiolo. Confirming the incident, Samburu County Police Commandant Patrick Wambani said that the owners of the stolen livestock identified their cows. He gave stern warning to those offering livestock transportation permits to exercise caution while issuing the permits so as to contain cattle rustling in the area.
Wiki jana tumeshika mbuzi na kondoo, mwenyewe akakuja akasema sio hizo, tukawachilia. Juzi hizi zimeshikwa usiku na tumepata ya kwamba tukafanya bidii paka mwenye kule Suyan Marti kule Baragoi, that is Samburu North. Akakuja na amefika this morning, ame-identify ng'ombe hizi zinaonekana hapa nyuma yangu.